Rain pounded against Nnenna's back as she stumbled through the muddy path, her bare feet sinking into the soft earth with every step. The bundle of firewood on her head shook each time her body trembled. Thunder cracked overhead and she whispered to herself, "Please just let me get home before it gets worse." But home was the last place she wanted to be. A sharp stone sliced her heel. She hissed in pain, dropped the wood and sank to her knees. Tears mixed with raindrops as she held her foot. She was 19, but her body already felt like it carried the weight of 50 years. Still, she forced herself up, because if she returned late, her stepmother would call her names, shout, maybe even flog her again. When she finally reached the compound, she didn't even get a chance to breathe. Umuaku stood at the doorway, arms crossed, eyes cold and sharp. "Look at you," she barked, "dragging your useless legs as if you are doing me a favor. Where have you been?" Nnenna bowed her head. "I brought the firewood." Umuaku snatched one of the sticks and threw it at her. "You think I asked for wet firewood? Are you mad? You went to play under the rain, Abi. I tried to hurry." "Shut up. Don't talk back at me." Umuaku stepped closer, her voice loud enough for neighbors to hear. "If your foolish father weren't lying useless inside that room, I would have sent you out of this house long ago. You are eating my food for free, yet you are working as if your bones are made of butter." Nnenna clenched her fingers, but she didn't talk. Talking only made things worse. She bent, picked the rest of the wood and walked to the kitchen area. The rain soaked through her thin wrapper. From the small window of the inner room, she saw her father staring at her helplessly. His eyes were full of apology he could never speak. Obinna had once been a strong man, the pride of Umuaku village, but ever since the accident that twisted his spine, he had been bedridden. Day by day he grew thinner and quieter. And because he could not work, Umuaku controlled everything. Nnenna smiled faintly at her father through the window so he wouldn't feel worse, even though she was dying inside. Umuaku wasn't finished. "When you are done, go back tomorrow morning. The firewood is not enough." "Lazy girl." Nnenna rubbed her eyes when she got inside her small corner of the room. Water dripped from her clothes to the floor. She didn't have a mattress, just an old mat and a thin cloth that smelled like smoke and dust. She wanted to scream, to run, to disappear into the earth. But she swallowed every emotion and forced herself to breathe. Later that night, she sneaked into her father's room with a small bowl of watery gari soup she managed to prepare from scraps. He was lying awake, staring at the ceiling. "Papa," she whispered, "please eat something. Even small." He turned his head slowly. His voice was low and shaky. "My daughter. I'm sorry. Don't say that." She spooned a little into his mouth. "One day, everything will be fine." "How?" His eyes watered. "I cannot walk. I cannot protect you. That woman is treating you like a slave under my own roof. If your mother were alive." "Papa," she said softly, "don't talk about Mama or I will cry." He stared at her face, at the bruises and cuts she always tried to hide. "Nnenna, forgive me." She kissed the back of his hand. "When I make money, I will take you to the hospital in the city. You will walk again. You will be strong. We will laugh again." He closed his eyes as if trying to hold on to the picture. The rooster crowed before sunrise. Nnenna hadn't slept, but Umuaku was already shouting her name. "Oya! Wake up. If you want to eat today, bring enough firewood. And don't come back with nonsense like yesterday. If you like, die inside that forest." Nnenna tied her wrapper, picked the rope and set out. The sun wasn't up yet, but she walked. Her feet hurt, but she walked. Her stomach was empty, but she walked. The path to Umuaku Forest was long. Villagers avoided it because it was wide, deep and frightening, especially since stories spread about strange voices at night. But Nnenna didn't fear the forest. The forest was the only place no one insulted her. The only place she could cry without anyone seeing. By midday, her hands were covered in scratches as she gathered heavy sticks. Her breathing was weak. Birds whispered above her head. She wiped sweat from her forehead and leaned against a tree. "God," she whispered. "If you are hearing me, help me. Please." Her voice cracked. "Just give me one small sign that you are still watching." A sudden faint sound broke through the silence. She froze. At first she thought it was a wild animal. But then she heard it clearly. An old woman's voice, groaning as if she carried something too heavy. Nnenna dropped her bundle and slowly followed the sound. Then she saw her, bent, frail, carrying a huge stack of firewood on her head, almost twice her size. The old woman swayed and nearly fell. Without thinking, Nnenna rushed forward. "Ma, please let me help." The woman turned sharply. Her eyes were pale and strangely bright. Most girls would have run, but Nnenna's heart softened instead. The old woman whispered, "My child, no one has spoken to me gently in a very long time. Let me carry it," Nnenna insisted. "You will hurt yourself." Together they lowered the wood. Nnenna took most of it onto her head, ignoring the pain. "Young girls avoid old women like me," the woman said. "Why did you stop?" Nnenna tried to smile. "If I see someone suffering and I walk away, what will God say?" The woman studied her face. "What is your name?" "Nnenna. And you are carrying pain inside your heart." Nnenna's chest tightened. "Everyone has pain." "No," the woman said. "Yours is different." She untied a small clay gourd from her wrapper and pressed it into Nnenna's hands. "Take this. When you reach home, give your father water from it." Nnenna blinked. "How do you know about my father?" The woman didn't answer. She simply smiled, turned around, and took 3 steps into the bush. When Nnenna looked again, she was gone. Not walking. Not fading. Gone. Her legs nearly gave way. Forest wind blew around her, cold and eerie. She clutched the gourd tight against her chest. She didn't understand what just happened, but something told her to hold on to it. She gathered her firewood and hurried home, her heart beating fast. She didn't know that her life was finally changing. She didn't know miracles had followed her out of the forest. She didn't know Aquago's wickedness was about to backfire. And she didn't know the strange old woman was not a woman at all. When Nnenna reached the compound, she hid the small clay gourd under her wrapper. She didn't want Aquago to see it. The woman was sitting outside, peeling cassava, her face stiff and unfriendly as always. "You are back," she said without looking up. "Drop the wood and go sweep the kitchen. And if you think you will carry your filthy feet into my house after walking around the bush, you are dreaming." Nnenna kept quiet. Her heart raced, but she didn't argue. She dropped the firewood where Aquago pointed and slipped into her father's room while her stepmother's back was turned. Obinna was awake, staring blankly at the ceiling. He had cried earlier. His eyes were red. "Nnenna," he whispered. "Papa," she replied softly. She closed the door behind her and took out the clay gourd. "A woman gave this to me." Obinna frowned. "A woman? She was very old, Papa. She looked strange. But she asked me to give you water from it." Obinna looked concerned. "Nnenna, you shouldn't take things from strangers. People use charms." "I know," she whispered. "But Papa, she didn't feel dangerous. She felt kind." Obinna's hands trembled. "What if it harms you?" "I will be fine," she said, kneeling beside him. "Please, Papa. Just a sip." She opened the gourd. A sweet, fresh scent rose from it, like pure spring water. She dipped a spoon and pressed it to his lips. For a moment nothing happened. Then Obinna's back arched. His breathing sped up. His body trembled. Nnenna panicked. "Papa! Papa, are you okay?" He let out a painful groan and grabbed her wrist, something he hadn't done in months. His fingers tightened. Then slowly his legs stretched. His toes moved. His knees bent. "Nnenna," Obinna whispered as tears rolled down his cheeks. "I can feel my body." She screamed, covered her mouth, and began to cry uncontrollably. "Papa! Papa!" His right arm lifted, shaky but alive. His voice trembled. "My daughter! I am waking up." Nnenna hugged him tightly and wept into his neck. She didn't care if the entire village heard her. Aquago did hear her. "What is going on in that room?" she shouted, rushing toward the door. "Nnenna, what are you doing in?" She opened the door. Stopped. Her eyes widened. Obinna was sitting upright on the bed. Sitting. The man who hadn't lifted his head from a pillow for almost a year. How did this happen?" Aquago stuttered. Nnenna quickly hid the gourd behind her but kept her expression innocent. "Papa is getting better." Aquago's voice rose. You did something. Did you take him to a native doctor? Are you trying to curse this house?" Obinna glared weakly at her. Woman, shut your mouth. Aquago had never heard his voice sound that strong, not since he fell ill. She froze. You have tortured my daughter enough, he said. From today, you will treat her with respect. Aquago swallowed, her pride bruised, but she forced a smile. My husband. I was only trying to help. Help. Nnenna snapped. She hardly ever spoke back, but tonight something inside her changed. You treat me as if I am a slave. You starve me. You insult me. You make me walk barefoot into the forest every day. Shut up. Aquago barked. No, Obinna warned. She will not shut up. Not anymore. Aquago's face twitched. She hated losing control. Her eyes shifted suspiciously toward Nnenna, searching for clues. Something strange was happening and she knew it. Nnenna spent the rest of the evening helping her father practice moving his limbs. His toes responded. His fingers curled. Every little movement felt like magic. She thanked God over and over again. Later that night, after Obinna slept, Nnenna laid beside him on the floor, exhausted but hopeful. She touched the hidden gourd and whispered, Wherever you are, Mama Ebel, thank you. She didn't notice that the gourd had changed shape. It was no longer a clay pot. It had become a small woven basket with a lid, and inside something glowed faintly. The next morning when Nnenna opened it, she gasped. The basket was filled with sparkling coins, tiny wrapped cloths of jewelry, and small bars of pure gold. She covered her mouth to stop herself from screaming. Gold. Real gold. She covered the basket and hid it under her mat. But she couldn't hide everything. Her life changed quickly. The first thing she bought was real food. Yam beans, spices, even dried fish. The entire compound smelled delicious when she cooked. Obinna ate and smiled for the first time in a long time. Nnenna even bought new clothes, simple but beautiful. Aquago watched everything with suspicion. Her narrow eyes followed Nnenna everywhere she went. By the third day, Obinna was able to stand with support. Villagers who passed by the compound stared in shock. Aren't you the man who couldn't move? How are you standing? It is a miracle. Aquago forced a smile in front of them, but inside, she was boiling with jealousy. One evening she cornered Nnenna. Where are you getting money? Nnenna pretended to be confused. Money? Don't play games with me. You bought yam, fish, clothes. Where did you get it? I sold something, Nnenna said quietly. What did you sell? A chicken. We don't have chickens. We have one, Nnenna said calmly. But you don't see anything in this house unless it benefits you. Aquago's face grew red with anger. That night she couldn't sleep. She paced around her room, scratching her arm restlessly. This girl is lying, she muttered. Something is happening. Something she is hiding. The next day she pretended to be friendly. Nnenna, my daughter, she said with an unnatural smile. You are growing into a beautiful woman. Come, let me braid your hair. Nnenna stared at her, amused. No thank you. Aquago slipped. Tell me where the money is coming from. Nnenna walked away. Aquago clenched her fist. She stormed into Nnenna's sleeping corner and began searching. She flipped the mat, opened baskets, tore through wrappers. Nothing. But something strange happened that evening. Walking past Nnenna's window, Aquago saw Obinna taking small steps without help. She gasped. If that useless man recovered fully, Nnenna wouldn't need her anymore. She would lose control. And worse, people would laugh at her. No, she couldn't allow it. The next morning, she followed Nnenna secretly as she went toward the forest. She hid behind bushes, watching. If something in that forest gave her power, Aquago whispered, I will take it for myself. Her daughter Kamsi met her on the road. Mama, why are you following that stupid girl? Aquago pulled her aside and explained everything. A strange woman must have helped her, she said. We must find that woman. Kamsi's eyes brightened with greed. And get our own miracle? Yes, Aquago said. Our own miracle. Neither of them knew that greed attracts consequences, and that the forest had already been watching them. The sun was high when Nnenna entered Umuaku Forest again, but today she didn't go to gather firewood. She went just to pray, to thank the strange woman for helping her father. She carried flowers and small pieces of cooked yam wrapped in leaves. She placed them near the tree where she first saw the old woman. Mama Ebel, she whispered. Wherever you are, thank you. My father is standing again. The forest was silent. No birds. No wind. Just silence. But the silence made her feel safe. She didn't know that two pairs of eyes were watching her from behind the bushes. Aquago gripped her daughter's wrist. See? She is talking to something. Something is in this place. Kamsi's voice shook with excitement. Let us wait for her to leave. We must find whatever she is using. Nnenna stayed for some time crying softly as she prayed. When she returned home, Aquago and Kamsi crept out from hiding. She left something on the ground, Kamsi said. Don't touch, Aquago warned. We need the woman. Not Yam. They ventured deeper into the forest, searching. They walked until the wind grew cold, until they began to suspect they were being watched. Kamsi shivered. Mama, maybe this is a bad idea. These trees look strange. Aquago slapped her arm. Shut up. Do you want to remain poor while that useless girl enjoys riches? But what if the woman doesn't come? She will. She must. A moment later, a sudden crack, like a snapping branch, echoed behind them. They spun around. An old woman stepped out of the shadows. Their breath caught. It was her. But something was different. Her eyes were darker, sharper, not warm like the day Nnenna met her. Aquago forced a smile. Mama, good day. We are travelers. We need help. The old woman stared at them as if she saw through their souls. Why have you come here? Kamsi stepped forward eagerly. We heard you help people. Give us something too. Money, gold, anything. Aquago nudged her daughter and added, We have suffered too much. We deserve blessings. The old woman tilted her head. Blessings? You came for blessings. Yes, Aquago said quickly. The woman's voice was low. Did you bring kindness? Did you bring a pure heart? Aquago frowned. Kindness? We came for help. Then give me water, the woman said simply. Just a drop. My throat is dry. Kamsi laughed. Water? That is what you want. She snatched her gourd, opened it and poured water into her palm. Dirt stuck to the liquid. She threw it carelessly toward the old woman's feet. There. Drink that. The woman didn't move. She only watched them with those hollow ancient eyes. You have come with greed, she said. And greed always pays a price. Aquago felt her skin crawl. What are you saying? Just help us. We will give you money later. You have nothing to give, the woman replied. Yet you want everything. The wind shifted, cold and heavy. Kamsi's voice shook. Mama, let's go. But it was too late. The old woman stretched her hand toward Kamsi. Her fingers were long, too long. Kamsi screamed and turned to run. Aquago grabbed her daughter's wrist and they bolted through the trees. Branches whipped their faces. Roots caught their ankles. The forest changed, paths turned unfamiliar. Every direction looked the same. Mama, I can't see the road. Just run. Behind them the old woman's voice echoed. Calm but haunting. You may run from the forest, but you can never run from your heart. Kamsi stumbled and fell, and when Aquago tried to drag her up, Kamsi cried out. Mama, my leg. Something bit me. A dark snake slithered away through the leaves. Aquago screamed for help that no one could hear. By the time they found their way out of the forest, Kamsi was burning with fever. Her body shook violently. Sweat poured from her forehead. Her eyes rolled back. Mama, water, she whispered weakly. Aquago rushed her home and threw open the door. Nnenna, help me. Call someone. Nnenna was washing clothes. She sprang up in shock when she saw Kamsi's condition. What happened? Aquago trembled. A snake bit her inside the forest. Please get the herbalist. Nnenna didn't waste a second. She ran to the home of old Chief Nduka, the village herbalist. He grabbed his medicine bag and hurried to the compound. When he examined Kamsi, his expression darkened. This is not ordinary venom. Aquago fell to her knees. Please save my daughter. It is not only snake bite, the herbalist said. I see anger of the spirits. Something evil she encountered. Kamsi began to convulse. Aquago screamed, holding her daughter tightly. Nnenna brought water, cloth, medicine. Anything the herbalist asked for. She didn't care how Kamsi treated her. She didn't want to watch anyone die. But as the herbalist mixed herbs and chanted, Kamsi's body started to change. Her skin broke out with deep black rashes. Her lips cracked. Her hair fell in clumps. Ukwago began to cry. God, please. Take me instead. The herbalist pulled her away. She will not die, but her sickness will not end until she speaks the truth. Ukwago froze. Truth. What happened in the forest? The herbalist demanded. Something is hunting her. Ukwago breathed hard, but she refused to answer. She kept saying, we were gathering firewood, that is all. But Kamsi moaned, grabbing her mother's sleeve. Mama, tell the truth, we went for gold, we wanted the woman. Ukwago slapped her hand away. Shut up. But the herbalist heard enough. He shook his head and looked at Nnenna. This girl needs forgiveness. The spirit of the forest does not punish for nothing. Something was done with greed. Nnenna stared at her stepmother. Mama, did you go to the forest because of me? Ukwago snapped. You think you are better than us. You brought riches to this house and refused to share. You and your useless father want to enjoy while we suffer? Never. She pointed at Nnenna's face with venom. You either tell us where you are getting your wealth or get out of this house. Nnenna felt her heart turn cold. She stared at the woman who had made her life miserable for years. You want the truth? Fine. She walked into her tiny sleeping corner, lifted her mat, and brought out the small woven basket. She opened the lid. Gold sparkled. Ukwago gasped. Her eyes widened with greed. Give it to me. Nnenna simply shook her head. No. This came because of kindness. Not because of you. Ukwago lunged forward, trying to snatch the basket, but Obinna suddenly appeared at the doorway, standing on his feet without support. Touch my daughter's things again, he warned, and you will regret it. Ukwago froze. For the first time she feared him. Kamsi moaned again, her skin darker, breathing heavy. Mama, help me. Ukwago broke into tears. Please, Nnenna, please save my child. I beg you. The change in her voice surprised everyone. It wasn't anger. It was fear. And desperation. Nnenna looked at the girl who once called her names, destroyed her things, and laughed while she suffered. She remembered every insult, every slap, every humiliation. She could let Kamsi suffer. No one would blame her. But she walked to the bed, held Kamsi's hand gently and whispered, I will help you. Ukwago fell to her knees. Nnenna, I am sorry. Please. Tears streamed down her face. But apologies don't erase sins overnight. And forgiveness is not always enough to stop consequences. Because the old woman from the forest wasn't finished yet. Not with them. Not with the village. Not with the past. Nnenna had no idea that the price of kindness was about to reveal the darkest secret of all. Nnenna had no idea that the price of kindness was about to reveal the darkest secret of all. That night the wind rattled the windows. The moon turned red behind drifting clouds. Kamsi's breathing grew heavier, and her skin felt hot enough to burn. Ukwago never left her side. She cried and prayed and begged, but nothing changed. Near midnight, Kamsi suddenly sat up with a jerk and screamed. Ukwago jumped. What is it? Kamsi pointed toward the window with trembling fingers. Mama. She is here. Ukwago's blood froze. Nnenna and Obinna rushed into the room. The window swung open by itself, even though there was no wind. The old woman from the forest stood outside, silent, motionless, staring straight into the room. Ukwago collapsed. Please, please don't take my child. The old woman didn't move. She only lifted her hand and pointed at Ukwago. You entered my forest with greed. You tried to steal blessings meant for a pure heart. Your daughter's suffering is the call you refused to answer. Ukwago sobbed so hard her voice cracked. Take anything. Take my life. Just don't harm my child. The woman's eyes shifted to Nnenna. You. Only you can decide. The heart that gave kindness must decide how this ends. Obinna gently touched Nnenna's shoulder. My child, what will you do? Tears filled Nnenna's eyes. She walked to the window, facing the woman her kindness had woken. What must I do to save her? The old woman's voice rolled like thunder hidden deep in earth. Bring her back to the forest. Before dawn. Alone. Ukwago screamed. No. Please don't take her there. But the woman had already vanished. The house fell into terrifying silence. Nnenna looked at Kamsi, shivering and pale. I have to go. Obinna caught her hand. You can't go there alone. Let me come. She shook her head. If she wanted you, she would have called your name. This is between me and the forest. Ukwago grabbed Nnenna's legs, crying uncontrollably. Please forgive me. Help my child. I will never treat you badly again. I swear. Nnenna slowly pulled her close. I already forgave you. Before dawn, while the village slept, she helped Kamsi out of bed and carried her weak body on her back. Ukwago followed behind them, crying softly, afraid to walk farther but unable to stay behind. The forest swallowed them with darkness. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Kamsi whimpered, her nails digging into Nnenna's shoulder. Please. I don't want to die. You won't, Nnenna whispered. Not while I'm here. Suddenly fireflies lit a path ahead, hundreds of them, moving like stars guiding them deeper. At the heart of the forest, the old woman appeared again. But this time she didn't look old. Her back straightened. Her hair turned black. Her skin smoothed. Before their eyes, she transformed into a beautiful young woman in glowing white cloth. Ukwago gasped and fell flat to the ground, trembling. Kamsi fainted on Nnenna's back. The woman spoke, but her voice was layered, as if many spirits spoke at once. This forest has protected your people for generations. But humans forget. They insult the earth. They dishonor the spirits. Only one person remembered to show kindness. This girl. She reached out and touched Kamsi's forehead. The girl shuddered. The dark rashes began to fade. Her breathing steadied. Ukwago crawled forward. Thank you. Thank you. The woman ignored her and looked at Nnenna. You gave without expecting. You served even those who hurt you. Kindness is the strongest form of power. And today your kindness has saved a life. Nnenna lowered her head. I didn't do it for power. I just didn't want anyone to suffer. That, the spirit said, is why you were chosen. She raised her right hand, and gold light spilled across the clearing. A soft wind brushed Nnenna's skin as something small and wooden formed in the spirit's hands, a carved box glowing faintly. This box holds the blessings of the forest. Wealth, health, long life, and peace. But remember, blessings stay only where kindness lives. The spirit placed the box in Nnenna's hands. Felt like it weighed nothing and everything at once. Kamsi suddenly gasped and opened her eyes. Her fever disappeared. The rashes vanished. She looked normal again, frightened, weak, humbled. The woman turned to Ukwago. As for you. Ukwago shook violently. Her heart felt like it stopped. You will live. But you will remember. Every time you try to hate, every time jealousy grows, your breath will fail, and your heart will burn, until you choose love instead. Ukwago collapsed, weeping. I will change. I swear. I will change. The spirit looked at Nnenna one last time. When you need me, come with a clean heart. Call my name, Ebel. With a gust of wind, she vanished. For a long time, none of them moved. The forest returned to silence. Then Nnenna helped Kamsi stand, and together they walked back home. By the time the sun rose, news had spread. Everyone heard Kamsi had been dying, and now she was healed. Everyone heard Ukwago crying out apologies. And everyone heard that Nnenna, the girl they once pitied, had been blessed by the spirits. People came with gifts, food, clothes, offers to help. Not because of gold, but because they saw what kindness had done. Ukwago changed for real. She cooked for Nnenna. She washed clothes. She apologized every day. And whenever jealousy crept into her heart, she felt her chest tighten, reminding her of her promise. Kamsi became quiet. No longer proud, no longer wicked. She followed Nnenna like a little sister, afraid to ever be cruel again. As for Nnenna, her life blossomed. Obinna bought more land and started farming again. The carved wooden box always had enough. No matter how much they spent, no matter who they helped, the village learned something priceless. Kindness is a seed. When planted, it grows into miracles. When ignored, it grows into curses. Years later, people still spoke of the Spirit of Umuaku Forest. Some say she was an angel. Some say she was a guardian. Some say she was a test. But Nnenna knew the truth. She was a reminder that life rewards the gentle and punishes the greedy. And just like you watching right now, If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories your way. Because somewhere today, someone is suffering in silence, someone is being mistreated, someone is praying for a miracle. And their story might change with one act of kindness. The end. Thanks for watching.